Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday, Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
Wham bam, Brewsday Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. And I would almost say this is a round two from last
Yeah.
week because, well, frankly, when you're abroad for, I guess I was over there for like 2.5 weeks, two plus weeks.
So it seems
It's
fair.
it's
Two
hard
weeks
to
of
it's hard to
show.
cram all the fun stuff and whatnot into just one show. So first things first, one thing that I definitely forgot last week that I shouldn't have was because last week was the Scotch. This week we're doing Scotch or Scottish beers, if you will. But I forgot that I actually brought you a bottle of Scotch and I
Oh,
didn't give it to you. Uh, and I obviously that was a big oversight on my part. There was clearly a lot of stuff to talk about. So
there's
yes, I
so
did
much.
bring you back a bottle of Scotch. The thing was, I couldn't uh, I didn't check a bag. So since 9/11, I think, is when the whole 3 ounce,
Yeah.
they really put,
Well,
yeah. So what I did was I found the smallest bottle of scotch in the world, and I picked you up a bottle of it. So
oh, I appreciate
here
that.
you
That's
go.
definitely less than
If
what is it, 3 ounces?
3 ounces. In fact, I think that might be just 1 milliliter. I don't know exactly if it doesn't.
1.3 milliliters.
1.3 milliliters. Yes. So it is a very small bottle, but I got that at that Scotch Castle I was telling you about that I mentioned on the other show that had a lot of stuff that was overpriced. And yes, I guarantee you that bottle of scotch is overpriced for how much scotch is in it. But I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh
So
no, I love that. That's fantastic. That's I mean you can't even drink that. That's a
no,
masterpiece for sure.
no, you don't drink that one. But if you're watching on the YouTube, it's about the size of what would you equate the bottle size of? I mean, it's hard to.
It is about the size of I mean it's about the size of an eyedropper. Not
I would say
necessarily
even
the
smaller. The
length,
width,
but
yeah, the
yeah.
width of an eyedropper, and then I guess what, an inch and a half tall, 2 inches,
Yeah.
something like that.
Inch and a half max, I think. It's White and McKay, the Glasgow Special blended Scotch whiskey, double marriage blend, and you can almost read the print at the bottom. 40% ABV, and I can't read the rest.
Yeah, but
That
it
is
looked
fantastic.
badass, so I wanted to grab you. So there you go. There's your bottle. There's your scotch
I'm
from
gonna have to figure out how to get the shrink wrap off of Lemmy back there and
and
give him
get
a
that.
bottle of
Get that.
scotch.
Well, I also picked that one because it had the most like metal and badass. Like it's
Yeah.
like black with a red dragon on it or something like that. I
No,
can't remember, but
it's two black or two red. There's a red dragon and a yeah, it's two red dragons. Or no, apparently they're lions. It's the double lion brand.
oh, the lions. Okay. Well, all right. Well, there you go. So that's the scotch, and
That might
and
be the most beautiful souvenir I've ever received.
it's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm trying to remember if there was anything else about Scotland. I mean, I'm sure stuff will come up here or there, but obviously we were in Scotland for the bulk of the trip, but it was going to end, and we hopped over to Copenhagen for the Rammstein show, which was
Hold on.
very.
Before we get into that, though,
Oh,
can
we
we
got to
talk
talk
about the
about the
beer we've
beer. Oh,
got?
yeah, we did. So I couldn't bring back, I brought back scotch. I didn't bring back beer. I couldn't bring a whole bottle of beer or can of beer. I was hoping I could maybe find, because I went to, I guess, three breweries in Copenhagen. And I was kind of hoping maybe one of them, because they're a big brewery, big operation. I thought we might be able to find some here. Unsuccessful. However, I had these Scottish beers in my back pocket because I didn't know if I was going to bring back anything to drink from Scotland. So I wanted to have at least a
Yeah.
show's worth to talk about the trip. So I just popped Belhaven's Wee Heavy, which is a rich Scottish ale at 7.4%. And I mean, I guess I could read some of the stuff on here.
It's 11.2 ounces.
Oh, that's how they get
Metric
you.
system cheats us again.
330 milliliters, if you will. But yeah, 11.2. I mean, I guess I can read it. Belhaven, or the Beautiful Harbor, nestles among the rolling barley fields of Scotland's beautiful east coast. For 300 years, we have brewed in this place using only the finest ingredients, continuing that long tradition. This range of specialty beers each has its own unique taste and style, and together they represent the very best of Scottish brewing. The Belhaven Wee Heavy is a classic Scotch ale, showcasing the wonderful malted barley native to oh boy, East Lothian.
Yes.
Sorry, in-laws.
Whichever is right.
A rich, dense, complex beer with notes of dried fruit and candied peel. It's like Christmas cake in a glass, they say. So I'm interested to see how these beers taste because, like I said, I've been sitting on these for probably a very long time, but I'm hoping and thinking that there's stuff that can sit for a while.
Yeah, I think both styles are good to sit. I like the mention of the East Coast. I wonder, like, I mean, you remember the 90s, the East Coast, West Coast, two-pot biggie thing. I wonder if there was like an equivalent in Scotland, a East Coast, West Coast,
I don't know about
Scottish
I don't know about the
rappers.
90s and the rappers, but obviously there was quite a few.
There's been some skirmishes in Scotland.
Yeah, I would say so.
I've got the Scottish ale, rich, nutty, smooth, 5.2% ABV, 11.2 fluid ounces, or 330 milliliters if you're a savage using the metric system. Our signature Scottish ale is the beer we've brewed the longest and is our best-selling bottle worldwide. We brew it from 100% Scottish barley malts for a nutty biscuit character, balanced with a subtle spiciness from Challenger and Golding's hops for an all-round satisfying beer. Now, I do is Scotland the same as the UK where biscuits are like not the same as they are here? Like our biscuits sweet?
Are cookies. Yeah, that's what they call a cookie, essentially.
No, I don't like that.
Well, and the thing is I'm like, okay, well,
cookie.
then what do you call a biscuit? And she's and
Scone.
BB's answer is like, well, they don't really have it. Well, scone's different because a scone is like sweet as well.
You can make. I actually, I'll have to make it for you at some point. I make some damn good savory scones that got cheese in them. Oh, absolutely delicious.
Oh yeah, that does sound.
But yeah, I don't like the whole. A biscuit is a biscuit, and it should be savory, and you should slather it in gravy.
Well, that being
If
said,
you put gravy on a cookie, it's horrendous.
no, I don't do that. But that being said, I do like their version of biscuits. There's quite a few biscuits and digestive biscuits and stuff that I quite enjoy over there.
I feel like their cookies or biscuits, if we're gonna go that route, I feel like they're like crunchy, like they're supposed to be. I don't. This is a long-standing disagreement between the wife and I. Is that she'll undercook the cookies so they're like all soft and it freaks me out.
I'm with her on
like
that.
I want it to have a crunch. Like Chips Ahoy, that's where it's at.
I like it when it's soft, warm, gooey. That's the best.
Chips Ahoy, dunk it in milk. I am a happy camper.
Chips Ahoy are gross. Those are the worst cookies ever.
You sound like my in-laws.
They're terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Chips
I mean, you have to dip them in milk
like Oreos
just to make them edible.
I need a crunch. I don't
Oreos
like soft gummy
Oreos are
food.
much more acceptable. Well, while we're on this subject, I might as well jump to one of my topics, which, we went to Copenhagen, Denmark, the Danish. So one of the things that they are known for is their pastries, Danish pastries. So we went to a couple different spots to check out, based on some recommendations from the walking tours that we went on. And I can confirm they make some damn good pastries, dude. I mean, I guess we haven't really, right, I haven't. I don't know if BB posted, but we got some pictures of them and stuff. I mean, a couple of them were just like a cinnamon roll kind of thing. And then I got the stereotypical, when I think of a Danish pastry, what do you picture?
I've never had a Danish in my life.
Not even just, but you know,
I
what
don't know that I've even seen one.
You don't
Like,
even know what a Danish looks like.
Off the top of my head, I do not.
Okay,
Baked
well,
goods aren't my thing. In case you couldn't tell from the Chips Ahoy conversation,
oh, dude, well,
it's candy all day.
it was amazing, and I feel like I don't know if I could ever eat a Danish here again. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still okay, but everything here just tastes so stale and lackluster by comparison. It was ridiculously amazing. And as you're eating it, so it's basically the size of a what's that? Softball,
Yeah,
give or take. I mean, not that
grapefruit.
thick, but yeah, maybe softball size. And it's just sort of like woven in. And on the top, you know, you can tell it's like, oh, maybe it's got a little cinnamon and sugar, a little this and that. But then as you're eating it, you discover other crap in there that you didn't even know. It was just like an excitement every bite. It's crazy, dude. It was
Mystery.
so
So there's a
delicious.
green bean. What the hell?
Yeah, the Danish pastries, that's worth the trip in itself, man. Phenomenal. So the cuisine was quite good all around. Unfortunately, I actually had us booked. I had reservations booked for the first night there at a award-winning restaurant. However, we did not make it,
Oh no.
not because of a delayed flight, although it was slightly delayed. We still probably could have made it. In fact, I was able to push our reservations back a bit when we thought, oh, we're just going to be a little late. But we were encouraged to check our bags because of the size of the flight and the overhead bin space issues. So BB's bag was not at
Oh
the
no.
conveyor belt when we got to Copenhagen. So
Came over on another plane.
no, we took the same
It's-
plane.
No,
I mean, oh, I
the
don't
bag.
know. We don't know. We never got an explanation of
She
where
did
the
get
bag
it
was, what
eventually, right?
happened. Yeah, so she got it eventually, but that screwed up our plans for that
Yeah.
night because all of her clothes were in it, all of her toiletries and stuff were in it. So we didn't go to that restaurant. We just sort of went to a Netto, which is a little convenience store slash grocery store, got some stuff, some essentials because I mean, she didn't have any clothes, and we didn't know when she was gonna get her bag back. But we got a call the next morning at like 7:45 saying they found the bag and they're gonna deliver it between 10 and 1, which was another problem because
Because now
we
you're at a
had stuff
hotel,
for
you
it.
have to, yeah.
Well, an Airbnb actually, which made if we were at a hotel, that would have been great. We could have left it with the front desk or something, but we had to be there because if we missed the delivery of the bag, we would have to go and retrieve it from the airport 45 minutes away, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. And plus, we need the bag. So we had a walking tour planned, and I just went ahead while BB was waiting for the bag, and then she joined along with it. So we did get the bag back around like 11 the next morning. So it wasn't too bad, but kind of scuppered the plans for the first night, which kind of sucked. But I highly recommend. So if you are ever in a foreign land, or maybe even whether it's a foreign land or just a land that's foreign to you, if you've never been to
Wyoming.
DC or whatever, a lot of cities have free walking tours. And what you do is you sign up, and a lot of people show up or whatever, and you kind of just pay what you felt the tour was for you, based on how long it was, how good the guide was, maybe how much money, expendable money you have. And that's a better way to do it in my mind because you don't feel so obligated, if you can't make it. Or in one instance, it was supposed to be about a 2.5 hour tour, and we realized, oh, we need to duck out of this. So we bailed out early, gave the guy some money, thanked him and everything. So, and it's a great way to learn because, and there's tons of different ones you can choose from. There's the politically incorrect guided tours, which means they're cracking jokes and poking fun and being a bit more vulgar. And then there's like the more informative ones, of course, which, they're both have their pluses and minuses. So if you're ever in a city like that, I highly recommend it. There's Guru Walk, which is what we were mainly using, but there's tons of different ones out there. The good thing about Guru Walk is it shows walking tours from multiple different tour companies on one website. So it can make things a little easier.
I love doing stuff like that. Like we did one in when we were in Seattle. It was those books like Weird History of Virginia, of like all the different states.
Yeah.
They actually do tours in some cities, and they had one in Seattle that like not only did you get to, you kind of got like all the weird stuff that happened in Seattle, you also got to go in there. So In Seattle, the streets are built up. There's actually like a lower level to Seattle, and it's filled with tunnels, which used to be there was a whole sewage issue, and the sewage exploded and went down to Tacoma. They have a whole sister city rivalry. It's a whole thing, but like you get like all the weird stuff that like no one's printing in history books.
Yeah, like a fun fact, and I'm gonna say it wrong. I'm probably getting some names and eras wrong and whatnot. And I didn't fact check this, so it could be completely made up. But I did learn on the politically incorrect tour of Copenhagen. Shout out to Max, our tour guide, about Bishop Bluetooth. Do you know about Bishop Bluetooth?
I know that is who Bluetooth is named after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know
I
that.
think his first name's Eric.
Perhaps. But the reason Bluetooth was named after him, because everybody knows what Bluetooth is. It sort of is a way to wirelessly you can connect devices, sometimes even multiple devices via Bluetooth. And the reason I guess the guy that invented Bluetooth named it that was I think A, he was Danish, and B, he wanted to name it after the Bishop Bluetooth, who connected all of Copenhagen or Denmark. I think it was Copenhagen, I guess, under the Catholic religion. He kind of unified everybody. So that was what the story. And I didn't know all that. So you get little fun little tidbits and facts like that, on these tours.
A weird fun fact about Bluetooth. You know the actress Hedy Lamarr?
The name sound I can't picture.
She was big in the 30s, 20s.
Okay. I mean, I'm even picturing or thinking of the wrong person.
Her and a German composer invented the technology that allows us to have Bluetooth now. They created it as a way to, it was essentially the proof of concept was it would remotely play a piano. What it ended up being used for initially was jamming torpedoes during World War I.
Oh, all right.
She was not happy about that. Wow. No, he wasn't German. He was an Austrian composer. But
okay,
yeah, they like, and it's so random and like not at all a claim to fame for her. But yeah, she invented the technology that allows us to have Bluetooth.
That's wild. That's wild. And that's where we are today. So yeah. So I highly recommend you do the walking tours. It's great. It's a good way to learn the city, and it's also just a great way to get recommendations because they always will have food recommendations, other places to go and see and whatnot based on how long you're going to be there and what your interests are and whatnot. So highly recommend doing those. But and so we did that. We also I did go to some breweries in Copenhagen. Didn't go to any in Scotland. Was there for like 2 weeks, but in Copenhagen we were there for 2 days and went to 3 breweries. We did Aben or Aben, still not sure. Aben, still not sure exactly on the pronunciation. But that was one that I picked out because I noticed they had IPAs on Untapped with good markings and sours on tap with good markings. And they looked like those are their 2 main things, which is our 2 favorites. So we went there. It was great. And it was also right near War Pigs, which I had completely even forgotten about War Pigs. I know we did that War Pigs show. That was even earlier this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I brought those back from Louisville or something.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, well, we got to go to War Pigs. And War Pigs was fantastic because, well, honestly, we should have brought our appetite because they do like Texas style barbecue. Fun fact.
In Copenhagen.
And of course, fun fact. Copenhagen, one of their other main dishes, the main things that I guess people eat is you can just get like hot dogs or sausages. There's carts of them everywhere. They love their swine. There are, I think, population of Copenhagen is like 6 million or something. And there's about 3 pigs for every person. So they eat their pork. So and that made sense once I learned that A, that's why they're doing barbecue like that. And B, that's why War Pigs is kind of a thing over there. Because the logo is like a skull of a pig and everything. And it's just metal as hell. They're playing Rammstein in there, of course. I mean, I would say 80% of the people at War Pigs were at the concert.
We're going to go to the show.
You could just tell. And that was one of the fun things about being in Copenhagen was both before and after the show. You could tell so easily who was there for Rammstein that night. And it got to the point, I think, did I mention this to you? Or maybe, I don't know if it was on.
We haven't talked about it at all because I have been waiting to hear.
So it got to the point where I would just spot somebody, and you could just tell from their boots or their jacket or their. I mean, a lot of them were wearing Ramstein shirts, so that's super obvious. But they're wearing Volbeat shirts or Ghost shirts or whatever. I'm always just like, I would just turn to Kirsty and be like, they're gonna be at the show later. And it got to the point where I just summarized it. It made it a little simpler, and I would just see people, and I would just go Ramstein, just go Ramstein. So I easily 80% of the people there were going to be at the show because they know it's good beer, good food, and a very, very metal brewery. So that was really cool. Went to use the restrooms. I sent you a picture of that.
Yes, you did.
Because it was really cool. They had this white tile wall and not the whole wall. It was clearly something that maybe was fairly new, but in the center of each tile, somebody would put a sticker. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of empty tiles here. And BB keeps bear stickers in her purse ready to go. So I went back, got a bear sticker from her, and put it up. So if you ever go to War Pigs Brewing in Copenhagen, go take a piss, and you will see on the very first urinal, right above right there, is the Bears logo.
We're international, baby.
You know it.
I love that she keeps those stickers. That's kind of like Jack's in Springfield used to have before they became. What the hell were they before they shut down? I can't remember. That doesn't matter. Back when they were Jack's, the OG Jack's, the bathroom wall, it was like there were Sharpies just hanging out in the bathroom, and everyone was like almost encouraged to like
decorate.
Yeah. And, I've still got pictures of some of the things I put on there. They're not necessarily radio friendly because I was in high school and young and
you know what you do. Yeah. But that was
memories.
And of course, the beer was phenomenal. That was probably the best. I mean, Avon had really good IPAs and stuff. The IPA, I got an IPA and I got a stout, and they were both amazing from War Pigs. So didn't get the food, but all the food looked phenomenal as well. So if you got to go there if you go to Copenhagen, I would say. We ate pizza because there's a pizza joint right near our Airbnb. So and I had already gotten some beers at the convenience store the night before that I wanted to drink. So we went, got some pizza.
Wait, was this the same convenience store you bought like the toothbrush and the toothpaste?
Well, unfortunately, forgot to buy a damn toothbrush, if you can believe it. Bought
using your finger.
Toothpaste, didn't buy a toothbrush.
I've definitely done crap like that before.
So, but yeah, like underwear and whatnot. And so we went back, ate the pizza, drank a beer, got a beer for the walk. Oh, by the way, open carry beers.
It's the best kind of open carry.
The entire city of Copenhagen. Once I learned that, I was just like, game on, baby. I could just carry a beer around everywhere. This is phenomenal. So, obviously, yes, we did go to the show. I'm gonna save that. We got to untap these beers from Belhaven. The Wee Heavy, especially for being in the beer fridge since last year. I don't know. I can't remember exactly when I bought these beers, but I've certainly been sitting on them for quite some time. This is great, man. This is just hitting the spot. Maybe I just really needed a cold one, but I'm going to give the Wee Heavy. And this is the other thing. I really, when you're over there, you got to drink what they make. And I was starting to really love, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just reminded me of the good times of being on vacation. But instead of just drinking and seeking out what what your main style is, which for me is American IPAs, which you're not going to really get those done well over there. This is just delicious. So I'm going to give the Wee Heavy a 4, an easy 4, maybe a 4.25.
Scottish ales is another one of those styles that I don't necessarily seek it out, but every time I have one, I'm like, this is really solid. I like this.
Not bad.
I could make this a regular drinker. This is no different. It goes down easy. It's kind of I don't know if it's something that I would pull out on a hot day necessarily, but
yeah,
like we've been having lately, it's still damn delicious. I'm gonna go 4.25 on the Belhaven Scottish Ale. I mean, they've been brewing it since like it's their longest, and they were established in 1719. So was that like 305 years or so? And
17. Okay, so that brewery's got the other brewery that I went to beat. So, but we went to the concert Friday night, went to the Carlsberg on Saturday. I want to talk about that. And of course, got to talk about Rammstein. And we will do that after I play some Rammstein. It's Brewsday Tuesday right here on 105.3 The Bear.